Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Chris, back with a few upgrades that I have planned for my 7.3 diesel. First upgrade I have planned is a muffler delete. I was looking at getting an exhaust system, but I didn't really want to spend the money on a stainless steel exhaust quite yet. Actually, if this muffler delete pipe that I got from Riff Raff diesel improves my fuel economy and gives me a little more sound, maybe I'll just buy like a nice exhaust tip and call it good there. So this is already pre-bent. It's already got the flares on either side. I went ahead and bought some clamps because I plan on doing this myself. I don't really want to spend any money going to an exhaust shop and having them do the work for me, because it really doesn't seem like it's that difficult. We'll see how this bolts up. I mean, my truck is a crew cab short bed, and I talked to Clay at Riff Raff and through email, and this is what he recommended. The other upgrade I have planned is the Riff Raff Diesel FRX, and for those of you that are not familiar with it, it is a fuel return system. On the stock 7.3, coming out of the fuel bowl, you have two lines that go into the cylinder heads to feed fuel to the injectors. The passenger side fuel comes from the back of the engine, and it travels through the head, and then it hits the front injector, and it just stops right there. There's no return path for it to go back into the tank, which is why, you know, the 7.3, you know, has that cackle issue people complain about or whatever. So on the driver's side, the fuel comes in the front part of the head, facing towards the front of the engine, and then does the same thing, goes through the head, and then just deadheads to the back of the cylinder head. So basically what this thing does is that it gives you a return pass, so that way when it comes from the fuel bowl and goes through the head, there's a plug in the head where you can take it out and you install this FRX that returns the fuel back. So that way when the fuel is flowing, if there's air in the system, it doesn't have to go through the injector. It can actually be a constant loop, which is the main reason I wanted to do this. Isn't really for performance or whatever. It's more for longevity of the injectors. It's kind of not a huge big job, but you know, the injectors aren't inexpensive, so I want to get as many miles out of my injectors as I can. So here's just a close-up look. There are videos online to how to install it, but they really don't show too many videos of it up close. So basically, this bolts to your fuel bowl, and your return line screws into here. And then, as you can see, it's got stainless steel braided hose with this covering on it. That's actually pretty nice. On the ends that go into the cylinder head, it's got a fitting that you have to remove the plug, install this fitting that's into the head, and then you screw this into it. So obviously the short line is going to go to the front of the passenger side head, and the long one goes to the rear of the driver's side. So give you a little bit close-up look on it. Machine works real nice. It's got a groove in here to receive an O-ring, and in the little package they give you the O-ring, and this is one of those fuel line, the stock fuel line type seals. I'm not for sure exactly why you need that, but and then they give you some springs here that they adjust your fuel pressure. I think the black one is the one they recommend. It raises your fuel pressure a little bit. I think the gold one is the highest fuel pressure. I think it goes maybe up to like 72. But then they also give you specialized sealant, because they don't recommend using Teflon tape for that. So that's what that comes with. The other thing that you can upgrade to is where your stock hard line fuel line goes into the cylinder head. They have these fittings. They're really nice machine work, but the stock ones have like a check valve in it, and it really restricts the fuel flow. So you take those out, you put these in where the hard line goes into the head, and then inside there you have to put a seal, and they sell these little bitty seals that go inside there to seal up the hard line. So then the other thing I was going to do too is that for those of you that have 7.3s, you're probably familiar with banjo bolts. And here's a stock banjo bolt. And as you see, the fuel goes into the cylinder head. It has to flow through these holes to exit and go through the center of it. You can see how it's hollow. And then the fuel runs out through here and then goes through the cylinder head. I already bought some Riff Raff diesel upgraded ones for the front driver's side and the rear passenger side. So now that I'm going to have a return system, there are 4 of these total in each end of each head. So this is what the upgraded Riff Raff one looks like. And as you see, it's made of the same material as those other fittings, but you can see how the windows are way bigger. It's not so much bigger on this end. It's pretty close to the same size, but that really opens up your fuel flow through the cylinder head. So yeah, if you're going to do this FRX, I would upgrade. I'd highly recommend just buying 4 sets of these, or excuse me, 4 of them, which is 2 sets, and replacing all your banjo bolts, so that way you have as much flow through that fuel system as possible. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of difference between the two. I've heard that there is people that say that you can drill these out bigger, but it kind of makes the bolt weaker, so I really don't like that approach. I'd rather use this. And it's already got an O-ring installed, and when you remove your old banjo bolt, they have an O-ring on them too. I already took this one off, but make sure you remove it before you install it so that you don't have any leaks or nothing. But I'll probably do a video of it running after I do these upgrades and see how I like it, but it really does make a lot of sense to me to have a return fuel system instead of just, you know, the fuel going through the head and just hitting like a wall. You know, this will at least allow it to flow in a circular motion, you know, and will keep the injectors cooler, and I understand that it should improve the life of the actual like injectors. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. I'll talk to you later.